You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 17th meeting of the Michigan City Commission for Women. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
It's 5:30, so calling to order the Commission for Women's Thursday, August 17th meeting. Roll call. Usually, Lori, that would be you on your minute taker, but I'll go ahead and. I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Jones.
Present.
Good. Lori Wink.
Here.
Albertine Allen.
Here.
Faye Moore.
Here.
Linda Conley.
Here.
Christina Isabel. Here. Bonnie Schaff. And Veronica Martin are both absent.
And Angie.
And Angie. She's at a conference in French Lick.
Oh, busy
Oh,
one.
yeah. Oh, there's mine on there. That would be nice.
Yeah. We have our June minutes in front of us. If anyone wants to just take a look at that.
The only correction I see where it says absent, it says Bonita Shaw, because she goes by Bonnie. So should we make that correction or no?
Well, it's funny. So she goes by both.
Oh, does she?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes.
But sometimes I list her. You know, it's true. I tend to list her as Bonnie. Maybe we should ask her how she wants it officially listed.
I think I just picked it up from some other
Yeah.
documents, basically.
Yeah. Because like when we put her name on like our brochures or whatever, or any other listing, it's always Bonita.
Oh,
Yeah.
ours has always been Bonnie.
Commonly called Bonnie.
Well, I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay. And
Can I second?
yes,
I wrote them. I'm the secretary, but I can do that.
I
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
All right.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the June minutes are passed. We do not have our treasurer's report as Bonnie is not here. She had to pick up her brother from the airport. I'm so sorry I forgot to revise our agenda that our guest speaker would be speaking at this point. Do I need to make a motion to make that change? Is that?
I make a motion to revise the agenda for our guest speaker to speak
Okay.
at this point on our agenda.
Second.
Great. All right, excellent. So at this point, we're going to have Deb Chubb come in, and she's going to share some information with us. There's a lot going on in Indiana for women.
Yes, it's not a good story. I'm sad to report. So several years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that, some wonderful women around here in Michigan City nominated me for a Torchbearer Award for the Indiana Commission for Women. And it was very wonderful, and so I was happy to be a recipient of the Torchbearer Award. And then after that, they ask you to be on a council of judges to pick new recipients. And so I participated this year, and there were somewhere almost 60 nominations, which was extraordinary. Yeah, a lot. And we were required to pick 6. And 2 alternates in case someone died or something, I guess, before the award ceremony. And so it was a lot of scoring. You had to score them on all these different things, and it was quite a bit of work. And then we met the Council of Judges, and there was about a dozen of us who met on Zoom, and we had very robust conversation about who we thought should be a recipient of the Torchbearer Awards. And one of the nominees was Caitlin Bernard. And I'm not sure if you're all familiar with Caitlin Bernard. She's an OBGYN who became kind of nationally famous because she performed an abortion on a 10-year-old girl from Ohio who had been raped and impregnated. And when she did that, our state attorney general, Todd Rokita, took it upon himself to crucify her in any way he could. And he told lies about her on national TV. He violated the ethics codes of attorneys, which requires attorneys to do reasonable research into the facts before you file anything with a court or make it public. He did not do that. And he defamed her. I mean, he said things about her that were not true. And has been pursuing her in all different ways since then. And then ultimately called her in front of the Medical Ethics Board, saying that she violated HIPAA, which she did not, and there was like something like 200 doctors and hospital administrators who signed on to a letter saying she did not violate HIPAA. And yet the ethics board did say that, you know, she did, and they fined her $3,000. And, you know, there were other charges that Rokita wanted to bring against her, but were not substantiated by any fact. And she still has time to appeal that decision, and I suspect she will, because it was not founded in fact. So anyway, she was one of the nominees, and I certainly believed that if anyone had done anything for women that was consequential and significant, it was her. And I advocated for her, and in fact there was a unanimous decision among the Council of Judges to make her one of the Torchbearer Award recipients. And so we did our thing, we finished our list, and everybody agreed. And then we received an email a week or so later saying, oh, you've got to pick one of the alternates because she was rejected. And of course we're all like, rejected by who? I thought we were the deciders. And they said, well, no, it has to go through the governor's office, and then it has been rejected. And we were all pretty pissed off about it because, you know, we felt like, you know, are we not allowed to even choose our own heroes now? You know?
Right.
The governor decided to step in and reject one of our nominees without basis, without any, you know, any real problem with her, except that she was not on the same political side of the fence as him. And so it was just really kind of infuriating for me and many of the other women on the Council of Judges. And one of the women, whose name is Lisa Wilkins, who is also on the Council of Judges and is a veterans advocate. She was so irate that she made calls. She said, "What's going on? Why is no one telling us anything?" And they kept saying, "Oh, well, we're going to have the commission president call you." No one ever called us. No one ever told us why this was happening, why she was rejected. Whatever. Record or whatever they thought that was the basis for rejecting her. And I never got a call from anybody. We kept emailing, asking what is going on? Why is this happening? Why would you give us all these names? And then we get to choose, and then the governor gets to, pick from what we choose. I know one of the women who's on the commission, the State Women's Commission, Shelley Yoder. She's a state senator from down in Bloomington, and I called her and I asked her about it, and she was outraged because she said, "Well, they just gave us the list that that they said you produced, which did not have Caitlin Bernard on the list, and so we just said, yeah, it looks good." They did not tell us anything about this controversy. And so she was outraged by that. And so, she was writing letters too. So she was not getting any information either. And so ultimately then Lisa Wilkins called the Indianapolis Star, the newspaper, and called a reporter there. And she said, "I think this should be publicized because this is an outrageous usurpation of our authority." And so they did. And so that article came out yesterday, maybe the day before. And I have shared the article widely on Facebook, and probably will write my own op-ed on it. And so I wanted to report to you that this was happening. I mean, this commission is really only one of 4 women's commissions in the state. There's the state level, and then there's us, and Gary, which is kind of dormant, and then a Bloomington one, and then there's one more, might be Lafayette, I'm not exactly sure.
Monroe, I think.
Oh, that's Bloomington.
Oh, that's Bloomington.
Yeah, that's Monroe County.
Well, those are the only ones that we meet with, is Monroe
Oh,
and us and the state commission.
oh, so yeah, I think there was one in Gary, but it's
And she didn't come to our meeting this week, so
Jordan.
yeah,
Yeah. So Jordan is, she's the staff person.
yeah.
So, I mean, admittedly, at the state level, the Commission for Women is this tiny little division with a, closet for an office, I think, and I think one staff person, and it's within the Human Rights Commission, the State Human Rights Commission. But no one has answered us as to what is happening and why this happened. So, and it's just really infuriating.
And they are searching for a new board chair right now, or there's someone
Oh,
new
really?
is coming in.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if that is.
So, Lindsay Weaver was the chair,
Yeah.
who was supposed to be calling all of us, and who I never, none of us got a call from her. So, so I just wanted you to know about this. I was quoted in the paper, and so, I want to make sure that you guys know, I'm from here, I'm from Michigan City, and I was on this commission, years ago. And
Where is Caitlin Bernard from?
she is in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis?
Yeah, yeah,
Marion County.
yes, yeah.
I did forward the article.
she-
to
she-
everybody,
Oh, okay,
So I did read, I read most of it,
I couldn't
and,
access it.
and
Oh, you couldn't
I
get it?
I'm
agree
sure I got
that,
it from you,
But
or I
what
read
can
it
we do
somewhere
as a
else.
commission,
I must
though?
have been getting it from you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that, I would think it would be great if this commission sent a letter to the Indianapolis, the state commission, just expressing your disappointment at allowing this to happen, that they would just allow politics to take over what has been an apolitical, process so far, and allow, their politics to,
So
usurp the
somebody
authority of
removed
the
her name,
women.
that's what you're saying?
Yeah, the governor's office,
Governor's
yeah,
office.
yeah.
Was it the governor or somebody in his office?
I'm not even sure. And so today, there was another article from the Capitol Chronicle,
Yes.
and there was a response from the governor, and,
Oh.
and he tried to act like, oh, well, this is the normal process. I'm like, okay, this has never, ever happened before, because we asked that, and they did say that no one has ever been rejected like this before.
I believe one of the points was, well, there is legal controversy around this candidate, so until dust settles, we're not gonna do that.
No, that's
Some
just-
kind of dodge like that.
Yeah, it was a dodge.
Yeah.
It was a pathetic dodge. So, so anyway, I mean, I would greatly appreciate if this commission would send a letter to the state commission, expressing a disappointment. I mean, I just think that was a terrible, terrible thing that they did, and it just was just inserting politics into what was otherwise an absolutely non-political thing. I mean, the women who were on the Council of Judges I'm sure were very diverse, and I'm sure there were plenty of Republicans on there. There was a Republican woman on the state commission who also was quoted in the article because she was upset too, that they had not notified the commission, that they just gave this list without her name on it and said, okay, here it is, without giving them all of the information. About what had happened in this vote.
How did the commission find out that her name was not on the list?
I think it was
of
me.
finalists?
I think I was the one that I called another member, and I think she then called the other commission members.
Mhm.
Because I don't think the one I called didn't know until I told her, and they had already, seen the list and it had gone past them. So she found out from me. So I don't know, so I'm not sure if anyone else found out from somewhere else.
So I make a motion that we send a letter to the state commission, supporting Deb's information, based on Deb's information that we've received, and the newspaper article in the Indianapolis paper.
Endorsing
Endorsing,
the newspaper article?
no,
Okay, I'm sorry.
well, I guess that would be what we're doing, that the candidate that we chose should be honored.
I think we need to find out what happened. So we need to write a letter inquiring
Yeah, that would be good.
what happened to the
So
state
how about this,
commission.
can you write a letter to our commission expressing what you just expressed, and then we would then base that on our letter to the
To ask
commission?
questions.
Or is that just too convoluted?
Well, I mean, I kind of feel like being here today is giving the
Yeah,
report.
She's
It's
already
the
given
same thing.
given us a report. Most of us have already read the article. Those that haven't read the article still have an opportunity to read the article. I think the second one maybe is sending a letter to the commission inquiring
What happened?
What
We'd like to
happened.
know
Why?
you know.
and
More so
why.
inquiring why the process of selecting a candidate was not followed regardless
Yeah.
of who she was or what she did or is accused of or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the process and it was just overruled.
Right,
For what reason?
right, what reason?
I mean, I can't imagine that.
Even if she didn't get chosen, her name should have remained on the list.
Yeah.
If there was that many names on the list, she should have remained
Well,
on
and
the
I mean,
list.
you kind of feel like, well, why did you guys screen the names before they came to us?
Right.
You know, if you were gonna
Right,
decide
right.
political, people you didn't like politically, shouldn't be considered, why didn't you do it before it came to us?
So 6 finalists there were 6 finalists and only 1 was named, or were there 6 torchbearers?
Yeah, 6 awards, 6 torchbearer awards were chosen. Yeah, out of about almost 60 applicants.
Was the state commission, was there a person on the council of selectors?
No, none of the commissioners are on there. The
Okay.
council of judges is
Judges.
selected separately.
Okay.
So they invite, previous awardees, and then, you agree to do it or not.
Yeah, so why have a council of judges and then don't
Override it.
override?
Yeah.
So who ended up getting slotted in as the 6th person when she got bumped?
It was one of the alternates that we had picked. So, and I can't even remember which one, I'm sorry, what her name was. And frankly, I don't remember the name of the other awardees. And we're not really, we were told not to say anything about those until, they were notified and everything, which makes sense. So I didn't really even write them down or
What's
anything.
the criteria for being on this torch bearer award? I mean, a recipient. What's that? Is this non-political
It is
organization?
absolutely non-political.
We can nominate.
You can nominate whoever you want to nominate.
Yes,
So it's not no type of. That's what I wanted to know.
right.
It's on the state website.
But I'm agreeing with you is that if she didn't meet the standard,
She should have been eliminated
eliminated
before.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
If she didn't meet the standards,
Right.
and whose standards were,
Well, I mean, it's up to us, the council of judges, to decide. At least that's what we thought.
but you were, but they overrode your decision.
Right.
That's interesting. Without reason.
Yeah, and they wouldn't tell us. I mean, today in the newspaper, this response that a reporter finally got from the governor was the first response that we've gotten from anybody. We've asked commissioners and we asked Jordan, who's the staff person, what's going on? Why was she taken off the list?
So if
And
those
they wouldn't
people-
say.
So if those who took the name and said no, if that's where it's supposed to go, where they get the final say, it should have been stated when you guys were doing that criteria, and it wasn't.
Right.
But it's not.
So this is the first time people knew that could happen at the level that it happened.
Right. It never
It never
happened
happened
before.
before.
Yeah.
I think it is important for us to say something since we are a commission for women. And this is the state's commission for women, and we are in what we have been focused on in the last few years is trying to get alignment and trying to get more commissions for women sprouting up in our state to have impact. So this is one way that we are still not able to have impact. That's a problem,
Yes.
what
We have a motion on the floor, though.
we do have a mission.
There's a motion on the floor.
I second that we
okay.
write that letter.
Okay. Is there any?
Right, it really it makes just a sham of the whole commission.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
How long has the commission existed at the state level?
It's been around for a long time, at least 20 years, I mean,
Yeah,
and yeah.
since Pat Boyd. I've been around 20 years. That's about how long I've been on this thing.
It's not
10. We're only 10, but
But
We're only 10, but the
And we
commission,
are-
11.
You know,
the
Michigan City
commission's
has
been around
had,
about 10 years, because
oh,
the reason how we got ours started because somebody contacted Pat and several other people in the community, and we went to like focus group meetings or whatever in Portage, because Portage was trying to get one going, and we were trying to get one in Lake County, people from Lake County, and we kept, but most of the meetings were in Valpo or Portage, that the state people came down and kept trying to tell us how important it was that we get these women commissions started up and going.
So we still have a motion on the floor. We're not through.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Well, this is
We're
a
just
discussion.
discussion.
Oh, okay, this is discussion, how you
I would
got
say
started.
discussion.
Okay.
yeah, so a long time ago, so Kristen Garvey had been the staff person for many years, I think.
Right.
And she was a Republican.
She was one of the ones that came.
Right, and she did that listening tour, remember?
Right.
So she went around the state just doing this listening tour, trying to, as you said, get people interested in having local commissions, and it was great. I'm not sure what she did with all that information, but it's this is really like pretty much this torchbearer thing is like it's the only thing they do. I mean, they could do a lot more, but they don't. I presume because of the administration at the state level. They get no money. I think they have one staff person is paid and not very much. But it really does make honestly a sham of this whole commission. It's so unseemly and pathetic, frankly.
The state commission actually did quite a few things this year, and that they had a really good conference on women's health and came up with a lot of good guidelines actually, and they brought youth to Indianapolis to the State House, and the youth gave like some speeches and things like that. So they've done some interesting work this year that I've kind of just trying to follow to see what's going on. Yeah.
Well, that's
Can you
nice.
call for the vote?
Oh, yes, we need to call for it. Okay, so all in favor of writing this letter, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Now, would anyone like to draft this letter? Or someone can take a stab at it.
So I think Laura, you're the journalist.
You're a writer.
The writer.
Thank you, Faye.
Yeah, put those writing skills.
Sure, I'd be happy to. No, I'm not sure I captured the full extent of what you said. But
So you haven't had a
yes.
chance to look at the article.
Yeah.
So I think once you look at the article, you'll understand.
Okay.
what
I can help you, because I think
Well, I'll draft it and I'll send it
Yeah.
to you, of course, and then we'll send it to all the members.
Right, yeah.
We need to
And then
do
we can
that,
add, right.
and we can act on that outside of a commission meeting, right? Because we need to do
Yes,
this
that can be
ASAP, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's just timely.
And you know who to send it to, the
Yes.
particulars, how to get it there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I do think it is interesting because we meet the first Tuesday of the month or whatever to have conversations with the other commissions, and actually this time I was able to meet the woman from Gary, who they really haven't had a commission for the last few years, and they don't even have they used to run a shelter, which they don't do that anymore. She's really a smart, lovely person, and so I'm going to try to get her to come into our meeting because she's really looking for, dialogue, communication on what the commission is and can do.
What's her name?
Tashika, I can send it to you.
Okay, sure.
I just met her for the first time
Yeah.
a week ago.
Well, that's nice that they're getting active.
So
again.
yeah.
Yeah, because they
Was
were
there discussion when you met this past Tuesday about this whole torchbearer
It was
fiasco?
asked if we knew about it, and I did not know about it then.
It hadn't really come out in the
It
paper
hadn't
yet.
come out.
No, it had not.
So I
Yeah,
didn't
just
know,
know.
and Jordan wasn't there on the call, so I wasn't sure what was what. So,
Yeah, and Jordan had done a nice job, I thought, of the whole thing, but then, you know, after Caitlin Bernard had been rejected, we kept calling her and messaging her and emailing her and asking her what is happening, what happened, what's going on, and she just would not respond.
yeah.
Probably for a reason.
Well, she probably just couldn't figure out how to, you know,
Yeah. It's been
explain
silence.
it.
Right,
Explain
because there
what
was no
happened.
good
Or
explanation.
they might have told her she couldn't say anything yet until that was still under investigation. Because they love to use that term. That
Yeah, right.
while things are
Pending
under
litigation.
litigation
right.
and investigation,
Yeah.
we can't speak
We
on that
can't
at this time.
Yeah.
They're not at liberty to say.
Not at liberty to say, yes, that's
Right.
another one.
Right.
We use it all the time.
I do think it's really important that our voice gets in there because we are a commission for women. So
Right.
I think I really appreciate you bringing that to our attention so that
Yes.
we can do something, you know, whatever that is to advocate.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
if we could get her, what's the lady's name again?
Caitlin Bernard.
Get her email and let her know that we are supporting.
I do not know how to reach her. I don't have any
Caitlin
time.
Bernard.
Was she
Yeah.
a doctor? You say here in Indiana?
I'm sorry?
She's a doctor?
Yeah, she's in
Ohio.
Ohio.
Is it
No, she's in Indiana.
Indiana? Oh,
But this
okay.
child was from Ohio?
Right,
Yeah.
because they had just passed a 6-week abortion ban, and the 10-year-old was beyond those 6 weeks and didn't know she was pregnant, as a 10-year-old wouldn't.
Who would deny
So you
a
could find her,
10-year-old
I'm sure you could.
10 years
Google her
old?
name,
Was
find
that
her on the
not correct? I
website.
had.
No, she's
Oh, this
in
was a
India.
big story. This was a big.
Yeah.
I mean, you may want to know how to reach her.
I don't know how to reach Caitlin Bernard, I don't.
Is she practicing in Indiana?
I would assume so, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what she's doing
You can
now, I
find
think
her.
she's probably in a, hiding underground at this moment.
I escaped for her life too.
It's
Yeah.
very brave of her to do it.
Yeah,
She's a doctor.
But she probably didn't know what kind of flack she was going to get either.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's always one person that needs to step up to go,
Right.
this is what's gonna fall out once you change
Right.
these laws, and that's,
Right.
she took the fall.
How can Todd Rokita get away with this obviously illegal slander, libel?
It's, we have a supermajority Republican legislature, we have a Republican governor, we have a Republican attorney general, and they will do whatever the hell they want, And they do get away with amazing stuff, they really do. I mean, the stuff that Todd Rokita does already is so questionable. There's so many issues with him. He requires all of his,
out.
I'm sorry?
You can always keep calling them out.
And I do, yeah. He requires all of his employees to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Oh, wow.
And of course, he's the guy that objects to the Health and Human Services Agency at the federal level that issued a rule that is especially protective of women's information who may be getting abortions, who come from states where abortion is illegal to states where abortion is legal to get an abortion. And he wants to say, because there may be a crime involved, I want to reach into that other state and get that information, that medical information about that woman. And the federal government has issued a rule saying, no, we are going to be protecting that private medical information about women, and he is fighting it with the federal government.
Yeah, it's a federal and state rights fight, really, isn't it? The states are claiming their right to do whatever related to abortion and
Right.
Like Trump to me.
That's what he laid out.
the Supreme Court's helping them.
Yeah. And I will say too, as part of your letter, I think, you should mention that we very proudly have many Torchbearer Award recipients from
We do
our
too.
area.
We do.
Jerry Jones, Lynn Isbell, who else? I can't remember who else.
Angie, I think
There was
one.
three,
Oh,
I
maybe
think.
Angie Nelson, I'm not sure.
I think.
Seemed like there was three,
And,
but we have to look them up.
oh, Pat Boyd.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure.
from
honestly.
our own community? Or?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Cool.
you know,
Many is gonna be good. The word is.
yeah, several, whatever, yeah.
I'll just make-
So, and I think that,
She's affiliated in
you know, I think that's important.
Mhm.
You know, that this whole award system has been thrown, you know, in the
They
garbage.
were not
Yeah.
entitled.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Well,
the
on that note,
university could get information.
Again, I want to thank you for bringing this to our attention so that we can do something. But for Women's Equality Day, I just want us to, the city council unanimously
That was hard this time.
sponsored a resolution.
Is it probably through Indiana
University
University?
Medical.
maybe.
What, you got contact info?
Founders.
Yeah, we were.
Maybe, but that's a good
She's
lead.
affiliated with the university,
Yeah,
medicine. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's,
She's with IU.
yeah,
you probably could email
is
them.
that where she went?
IUPUI in Indy.
Yeah, she went to IU School of Medicine.
IU School of Medicine.
But
She's affiliated with, I think.
It looks like that's with who she's still affiliated with.
yeah, so yeah, that's a good lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would love to contact her.
So did you write it?
Did you?
Oh, I know it.
I
I
see that.
get that.
Well, yeah, is her email on there then?
No.
No, but I'm sure they view
It's IU School of
IU School of
Medicine.
Medicine, or
Yeah.
something with the
Yeah.
hospital
Yeah.
university.
She's in Indy, right?
Right. That you
Yeah.
can-
I will use my reporter detective work,
Great,
chase that down.
excellent, excellent.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
that would be great if you found a way to contact her. I mean, I just kind of feel like for sure there's, I'm sure she's being hidden.
Sure,
and,
she's
you
low.
know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so she's staying out of trouble,
Women's protection.
right?
Whatever. All right.
Women's
Equality Day.
Women's Equality Day. So Bonnie and Lori were kind of drafted up a resolution that we submitted to City Council, and on Tuesday it was the City Council, the entire City Council is sponsoring this resolution. So let me just read it
This,
for you
this
guys.
past Tuesday.
This
or-
past Tuesday.
Cool.
I don't have the final draft of it.
They
so.
supported it.
Yeah, but they're supporting it.
Yes, Councilwoman Angie Nelson Deitch read it in its entirety.
Very nice.
And then they all voted on it, like you said.
Great.
Awesome.
Would you like me to read it for you so that we can get inspired here?
Sure. Be on the record.
On August 26, 2023, the women and men of the United States are celebrating Women's Equality Day and are seeking ratification and enforcement of the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment was approved in Congress in 1971 in the House of Representatives. In 1972, the Senate offered final approval of the amendment with the requirement that it be ratified by the required 38 states within 7 years. 30 states ratified the amendment in the first year, but when the deadline expired in 1982, only 35 states have ratified it. Since that time, an additional 3 states have ratified it. A June 2022 poll by Data for Progress showed that 85% of people polled supported the Equal Rights Amendment, with only 10% opposing it and 5% not sure. On July 13, 2023, a joint resolution was introduced to Congress stating that the amendment has already been ratified and is enforceable as the 28th Amendment to the Constitution. The resolution stands that the National Archivist, who is responsible for the certification and publication of constitutional amendments, must immediately do so. On August 26, 2023, the women of the United States are celebrating Women's Equality Day and are asking for the ratification and enforcement of the Equal Rights Amendment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Common Council of Michigan City, Indiana, honors Women's Equality Day and supports the ratification and enforcement of the Equal Rights Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America.
That's great. So that's House Joint Resolution 25, and I will say, after much hounding, our congressman did sign on as a co-sponsor. So, and there's, I can't remember how many they have now. I think they've got about 200 congressional co-sponsors, something like that, but
Yeah.
House Bill 25?
it's House Joint Resolution, so
Oh, House
it's
Joint.
HJR 25.
Where does it go from there?
So it would be, they would vote in Congress.
So it's up to the House.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I think I did read that. So
They have to get a couple of
Senate
Republicans.
has nothing to do with it, it's just the House.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it might go also to the Senate. Like, you know, they might have a.
I think it
You
was
know,
the House that, yeah.
The Senate had taken a vote a while back, and it had not. They did not have the votes, which was unfortunate. So, so they, you know, withdrew it, so that they could come back again. So it could be that after this resolution is passed, that the Senate would also pass a resolution.
Seems like we'd need both houses.
It does seem like it. Yeah.
Well, at least our Common Council, Michigan City wants it.
Yes, that's good. And our congressman is
And our
on board too, so that's nice. Yeah, so, yeah, Congressman Murvan is with us, so that's good.
So that is our Women's Equality Day
Wonderful.
program for this year, so we will make sure that we get that out too.
So are we gonna do something then? We're not doing anything this year?
We are not doing anything this year because we didn't have our meeting last month and I'm out of town. I leave, and there was really, would have been a lot to.
Well, if anyone's going to DC, they're having a big march on the 26th.
Mhm.
In support in DC, and
Oh, DC.
yeah, and I think there might be some happening around the country. I'm not sure if there's anything in Indiana, but they are having some marches around the country, you know, supporting the ERA.
I think that's gonna be the big push this year, is to try to get that
Yeah,
done, is because they're already trying to do that on the federal level.
right.
What
So
would
does
we
it-
do how do we help keep that fight going in our,
I mean, it might be nice to send an email to the congressman thanking him for joining as a co-sponsor of that resolution. That would be good. I'm a member of the ERA Coalition, and so we kind of get a list of the Congress people who have not signed on yet. But, you know, our two Democrats have.
Yeah.
So, you know, Murvan and Andre Carson out of Indianapolis. So they have both signed on as co-sponsors. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, was the state conference doing anything?
I don't know.
So you haven't gotten an email
No.
from them?
No, I haven't seen anything.
But if you, so if you go to ERA Coalition, you know, .org, you know, you'll find, you know, they have like a whole toolkit and they'll have information about marches and, you know, they give you like graphics you can post on social media, you know, in support of this.
Yeah.
They do a pretty good job. So, and I certainly encourage you to join. It's really a great group, and they have Zoom meetings. I don't know if it's every week, but it seems like a lot. And when you get on there, there's like Eleanor Smeal was on there. Anyway, so she was, you know, she's very big in the second wave feminist movement in the 70s. She was one of
She must
the.
be up there in age.
She is. I was like, wow. So she's on there, and Carolyn Maloney, who is just no longer a congresswoman, she's on there. She's from, I think, New York, and so she comes on. So it's really cool to be on this, you know, a Zoom call with all these very prominent, well-achieved, you know, women who've worked in women's rights for decades. So it's pretty cool.
It's taken decades.
Yes, and there's women from other interesting organizations too. Like, you know, I go on there as Indiana Women's Action Movement, but there's another one called, you know, Shattering Glass is one of them, and there's some other women's organizations, women's activist organizations who are on there. So it's always a pretty lively conversation.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, should we keep moving on? All right, so the next thing on our agenda is the PNW's Women Innovation and Leadership Conference, which is September 14th. It is from 9 to 2. And I attended this last year, and it was very inspiring program. And just with Faye was sharing this with me as well, that it would be nice if we maybe became a sponsor for this event so that we could attend it and possibly, you know, as we are looking for succession, like network a little bit, find out what's going on, but also to hear from some of these amazing speakers.
This is an annual event, is it?
This will be the second year.
Oh.
It was packed. I don't think I saw you there
I don't
last year.
think I did go.
It was a really amazing to be around so many like driven women in our community. I mean, and from all areas, and just to hear from women. Then they were talking about like alternative jobs for women, and so we got to learn a lot about different people. That this woman who runs a locomotive business, and her story of how she was the only woman coming into this community and trying to fight for that role, and how she's done it and succeeded. And so there were a lot of interesting stories like that. This year, it looks like they've expanded it a bit more in terms of the different panels. But Carnissa Carnes will be one of the speakers.
Great, she's always great. So what do you mean when you want us to sponsor? You want us to sponsor someone?
So basically, they have. I'll send you guys this link. Also, Angie is part of this. There's a panel called "She is an Agent of Change."
Great.
And looks like there are 1, 2, 6 Black women on that panel.
It's a Thursday. Thursday?
It is a
This is Thursday, September 14th, from 9 to 2 at PNW.
Oh, yeah, I do have it on my calendar.
Not in Westville though, the other campus.
No,
It's a
It's at
Westville.
It's at PNW.
Well, there's two campuses.
I know they're both PNW now.
Oh, they're both PNW?
Yeah, Westville is sort of
Oh,
the other.
So you gotta say PNW Westfield.
What does it say? Hammond?
I think that Hammond has it. I think it says PNWH or PNW.
Oh,
something like
really?
that.
That's what
We
I
got another
thought.
letter in there. But there are two campuses.
Right.
Because I thought it was right here when I got Westville.
It was at Westville last year. I mean, they have this huge new
Yeah, the big
space.
dwarf
I mean, it's a
thing, yeah.
really big
Yeah.
space. So I believe I can't find the
What
link.
is your
It's in
cost for that?
Westville,
Is
though.
there a cost to that?
There is.
$95
So
registration.
Is it?
I think so. $95.
It's $95 registration.
Oh,
for that's an individual ticket.
wow.
Student tickets are sold out already. There's a small business bundle at $255 for 3 tickets. There's
Is
a
there a
corporate table.
nonprofit org?
Yeah.
Corporate table is $750. There's a silver level sponsorship of $1,000, which you receive 4 tickets and sponsorship recognition on logo and on materials. There's a gold level
So I
sponsorship.
thought that with our funding that we have, couldn't we use that for training? And maybe 3 people go?
Yeah.
If there's, that's what I was thinking. That we had, the last time I think we had 15,000 or something.
That's $285.
We gotta
3
keep,
people if you get
right, exactly.
Be nice to get some young people, by a table or something, get some young people.
Yeah, the ticket of 6 ticket. Let's see.
What was it for?
To get 10 seats, though, it's $5,000. To get 6 tickets, it's $2,500.
Well, you do 95 times,
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I wonder if we
950.
can do corporate table. I mean, it wouldn't be a corporate. That's $750 for 10 seats.
Oh, seems like we could fall into that slot. As Sarah mentioned, it's during the day.
It is.
So
It is
right.
9 to
that leaves
2.
Sarah out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, the sub plans are too difficult to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Right.
So you don't have any time off that you could?
Not in September.
In the school system, right?
Not at the beginning of the school year.
Or no, so you can't have it.
I mean, I do, but I will not, and not the first
Not
month
use
of
it
school.
right away. Yeah.
So you
Remember
said
that I paid $95 for this last year.
It wasn't-
I must have been. I don't think it was.
It probably wasn't that high last year.
Yeah, I think it was.
The PNW has definitely gone up on their prices, so,
Okay.
because we're having that with the NAACP conference now.
New campus.
So I don't know, do we want to do that? Do we want to just do that as individuals?
Did you go on behalf of the Women's Commission last year, Christina?
I went as Women's Commission, yes. I mean, that's what I said, when I introduced who I was, that's what I said, yes.
Well, I mean, you.
So did we
But I
pay?
did not.
Did we pay you?
No.
Oh,
The commission
okay.
did not pay me, I just did it.
Isn't that legit to pay for the Tickets for commissioners?
I think so.
I would think so, yeah.
I know it
Everybody
definitely
wants
says,
to
because
go.
education, this is education.
Right,
for
that's what I'm
sure.
saying.
This is actually
For sure.
really getting to know what's going on in our community on a whole nother level from
Yeah.
people that are really invested differently.
But also to support an organization putting things like this together to
Right.
educate
For women.
just other
Right.
organizations and community members.
Yeah. And, Sheila Mateus is, she's the executive director of the leadership for
Oh, right.
Institute at Purdue Northwest.
Right.
So she is one
She's
of the
in
catalysts of this, and it was,
Maybe not.
I think she's at that place in Portage.
Well,
Oh.
It's
if I go out with my lunch, okay.
okay.
It's, I think it's the
Satellite
nursing.
What'd she say?
She would buy her own ticket if she went.
Oh, you're right.
Mhm.
Well, I can't afford my own ticket.
Well, I can't, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I can't drive, so I have to go with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if it was over there.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because I was
would take
thinking,
that.
since we were not gonna, that's why I want to know where we're doing anything for women's equality today. And since we weren't doing any, and spending any money for that, and this I thought was a good opportunity. And you said 750, we could have how many people?
Well, that's a corporate table, get 10 tickets, and that would be good because then we could maybe sponsor some
And then
young
some of the young people
to
like
come.
Get some young
Because we
women
need,
to go.
it'd be good to,
Because we have time, if we could get
That's on
that out.
Thursday, you need to get somebody that can be out of school.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I said,
Maybe a little
but
college
there
student
are
or
some
a little
young people
older.
that might, as a school, to me, look like they could get this, excuse,
This
Like
is
a
as a
field
skilled
trip.
project,
Yeah.
that they would be able to get
So we don't have a
Get out
finance
for a
report
school
here.
project.
Do we have $750 we can?
yes, we do.
Okay, so why don't we just vote to do 750?
If we look at our minutes, we,
Right.
treasury report in May, which nothing has gone out since then, is,
16,933.
yeah, 16,933.
Money.
16,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's, I make a nomination to buy a table for 750. Is that 10 people?
Corporate.
To attend the PNW Women's Innovation and Leadership Conference on September the 14th.
I second that.
Right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
What is the
opposed?
registration deadline?
Yes.
Because it's coming up pretty
It
quick.
is.
And trying to get, we need
They
to.
actually asked us last year, when I signed up for it, asked us to be a sponsor, but
Uh-huh.
we weren't meeting
Mm.
for me to do it, to bring it up
I'm
last year.
just thinking,
honestly.
from a standpoint of if they're putting sponsorships in a printed thing,
Yeah, we might be.
that's gonna be happening like
And they're
now.
already
Yeah.
printed. This is
Yeah, it would be nice to have your name in there.
We like to, we kind of like to get the recognition,
Right.
right? So
Right.
I'm guessing
Well,
that's
it
only a
looks
few
like a
weeks.
corporate table does not get recognition. You only
Oh.
start getting the sponsorship options, the silver level. That's when you start. That's $1,000, and you just have 4 tickets to the summit, but you get all the.
We can put our
doesn't
own
sound right.
sign in the
Oh, so
middle
that's
of
what you
the.
get, so for the extra money, you get fewer
Oh.
tickets, but you get recognition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense, I guess.
So that's an extra 300.
Yes.
And fewer seats.
And
We can
fewer
recognize
seats.
ourselves.
I really like the idea.
Make a little sign for a table.
Yeah, we'll bring our own sign.
T-shirt.
You got a women's table cloth.
We'll wear
We do,
t-shirts.
don't we
Pay for t-shirts.
T-shirts? Did we ever
We
get
don't
the
have
t-shirts? We never did the t-shirts.
No, we were talking.
But we do have
got
a
a
tablecloth.
And purple flowers.
And we have flowers.
Okay, well, I can't see, because I'm not online when their deadline is for that. I just have their website open.
Well, it shouldn't be a
But
problem.
I think they would be fine. Especially if we do it at the corporate table.
Yeah.
I guess our question is, can we get a check in time and how that's done?
That's through the city.
Yeah.
As we send our minutes, we do the motion and send our minutes and we send it to the controller's office tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We could probably
We
get it.
can probably get the check in time.
Do you send those
And
out,
they probably
Christina,
would,
the
they probably would
minutes?
I
invoice.
do.
Yeah, okay, good.
I think,
But we wouldn't have approved these, this is interesting.
wouldn't do what?
Oh, we wouldn't have approved the minutes, because we just,
Minutes, yeah.
well, if we.
Well, no, you don't
if we
have
make
to.
a
So
motion-
Bonnie's asked me, so when we needed a check for something. I had to do like an approval of the minutes, and we were able to get the check. So I think there is a way that we can get this done.
There's a way that we can get that done because as previous secretary for Social Status Commission, all I had to do was at the end of the meeting is send the motions, all the motions that we made that required money to the controller's office.
Yeah.
That we made a motion on tonight what is it?
The P&W.
$750.
Yeah.
For, the secretary just has to send it to the controller's office that we made the motion to have a check for $750 for the P&W Women's Innovation and Leadership Conference.
So they don't need all the minutes.
No, they don't need all the minutes, they just need that we made the
So I
motion.
need to do
Then
that.
when we get the
Yeah.
minutes, it'll be on the website,
Yeah.
for backup. And your receipt, when you get your receipt from the, from the check. it'll
And
be
do they send the money to Christina
directly.
as
They
the,
usually send it directly.
as
Well,
the
they do
president?
what you say. If you tell them to send it directly to P&W.
Oh, okay.
But they usually need an invoice.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm gonna have to figure that out, because right now there's a purchase your tickets online option, that's how you do it, so I have to get in touch with them and say, can we give you a check?
Right.
So I'll work on it tomorrow, we can talk it through.
Okay.
Right.
And then maybe if we want to invite some younger women, we should be thinking like right now about
Right.
who we want to invite.
That can be available to go on a Thursday.
Right.
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 And even if we're there partial day, right? I mean,
It's 9 to 2.
yeah.
Um,
And there's a lunch, I suppose.
yeah, oh yeah, you come. They had a really
It's a
nice
short day.
breakfast, it was a really great breakfast.
It's a 9 to 2, you got lunch in there, it's a short day, really.
I mean, it really was great. I mean, I learned a lot. It's good.
Good to know.
Yeah, is interesting. So who here now would like to be a part of that table?
I would like to go.
Yeah. Okay, so Lori, Linda,
3,
Albertine, you going?
4. We only got
Faye and I.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that's
Bonnie
5. I bet
probably.
Bonnie
Right there.
I bet Bonnie would. So that's 6. We know Veronica won't be able to.
Well, you know what I'll do, I'll
And that's
pay
it.
for Keisha's ticket.
You don't have to pay for Keisha's ticket. She can come.
Okay.
Okay, Keisha.
Well, we'll ask her, you can ask her. She might can take off. She might not be like.
Actually, this will be a good one for Keisha to go to because they really are. This
We
big
can
role
do
that
like
Angie's on will be really good for her to be hearing.
I like
No,
to
she's
know.
bonding with her babies in
That's right.
kindergarten. She's a good teacher.
So really, we'll have like 3 extra tickets right now.
We just need 3.
3.
Okay. Cool.
We can't really answer that right now, so let's just let that go. But we do, that will,
I don't think she's got that.
Well, I actually have a ticket, which I'm
Okay.
surprised. I don't know how I got a ticket. I don't know how I got a ticket. I'm sure I did not pay that.
Are we,
Yeah, I would have paid
are we
$95.
recording anyone for the commission
Well-
that we might want to ask?
exactly.
The one, I can't hear you.
Are we?
Are recording anyone for positions? I just hear y'all are leaving me.
Oh.
So are we, like, do we have some prospects?
Well, that's the funny thing. So this is happening on September 14th, but our annual meeting, just to state here, is September 16th, is that Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's where we were going to be talking about those,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
that, like how we want to look at the community, how we want to share with the community who we are, what we're doing, to make sure we get people that really want to invest a little bit of time looking at these issues and advocating. So I think there's a lot to discuss at that September 16th meeting, but this choice we need to happen now.
Got it.
I mean, I'm kind of curious about, because we did have some contact with Michigan City Black Business Association, of if Denise or Jackie would be interested in going, and also kind of looking at them as someone to have an entrepreneur on our commission might be an interesting.
Denise Ship.
Denise Ship or Jackie
Jackie,
Bird.
Bird.
Jackie Bird, right?
Right.
You don't know her?
Yeah, I do know her, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, they've, come in, Jackie expressed interest in volunteering, so I don't know if we,
That would be.
Yeah, that would be very nice.
okay.
Good nurturing of a volunteer.
That retreats here in Michigan City.
Retreat, yes, okay, so yes, retreat.
So we're moving to a retreat now?
Okay,
That's what she was
I
talking
think we
about.
were talking about the tickets, is that what,
we were talking about
we're
tickets.
talking about the tickets?
But, so that is on, so this P&W is on September 14th. Our annual retreat is Saturday, September 16th. So I actually think this will be some really good information for us as well, to
Oh,
look at
yes.
what our goals are gonna be, or, maybe
It'll
even
help
be
us
inspired
establishing
by some of
goals.
these people that we might
true.
engage in something. So I think it's a really good timing.
Did we find a place yet?
So Lori was looking at the Save the Dunes, but that's not available.
It's a Saturday and they don't have any staff that can open up and close for us, so they said no.
So at the front of Tryon is the GW Guest House, and that he has said we can use that space
We
for
can.
free. He's got it.
Is that like the B&B?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's nice. Very nice.
That's the name of business.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's their like a like a guest house. It used to be a B&B. Now
That's
it's
not
just not exactly like that
It's
anymore.
a big house in the front.
It's a big house in the front.
That's on Tryon Road.
Uh-huh.
The big house on the front.
It's
a big
on,
house
Tryon,
that's
like
in
the
front
barn.
of that
It's in front of the barn, and then it's the house next
Then
to
it's the
that.
house next to
yeah,
it.
it's old brick.
That you enter from
Farmhouse.
Tryon.
Where the garden is.
Yeah, kind of.
It's on the Tryon side.
It's on the Tryon Road side. Not, you don't come into Tryon.
Right.
You'll hit it before you.
Okay, so we can park at the barn and then it's right
No,
there.
we park
Pull right up to
we
the
pull right into the guest house.
Okay, well, we'll put an address.
I'll put an
in.
address
Yeah,
in.
find
I'm
an
sorry I
address,
didn't
yeah.
do that today.
Yeah, find an address.
I'll send you guys the
Can you
address.
back up?
Thank you.
Do we need to vote on that, for the conference? Do we need to vote on that?
Oh, yeah, the
we
motions
didn't
were made,
vote. Oh,
but
we
we
didn't
didn't
vote.
I
vote.
made a motion and you seconded.
Jeez, my
Right.
gosh.
And I seconded, we didn't vote.
That's all right.
Well,
All right.
so we're going.
So back to
Ahead of ourselves.
yeah. Okay, back to the vote. Okay, so Albertine was our first, and Faye was the second. Are we all in favor of the P&W conference for summer?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. So we got some work to do tomorrow on that, to make that happen. And we know the date for the annual retreat.
So just to let you know, so that article, I shared it pretty widely, and it's getting a lot of traction. Sharon Carnes called me and said it was on Democracy Now!, which is a kind of a national cable thing, and got onto there's a couple of online media outlets. One's called Jezebel, it was on there. It was on another one called, I don't think it was Guardian, but I think it was called Independent News, and now
You
it is,
can always send it to South Bend WSBT.
oh yeah, well I just
You can
got
send
it,
it to Channel 5 Chicago. They do a lot of that.
yes, yes. So
Needs
I
to
just
be
got
national.
a,
Publicity.
right, I just got a notice here that it was picked up in an op-ed at the Fort Wayne paper, the Journal Gazette. So,
So the other thing we can do is share that line the article on social media too. That might continue to get that pulse going.
Bernard's deselection from award is a jab at the women who unanimously chose her. It's an editorial by the newspaper, which is
Who put that
Pretty good.
in? Which paper is it?
Journal Gazette. It's Fort Wayne.
So this might help us write our letter too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you want me to?
I will loosely
Yeah.
reword. We'll borrow.
Sure, absolutely. Lori, what's your email address?
It's Laurie, Laurie, B, Wink, at Comcast.net. Do we have a list of all of our emails, by the way? Because I don't think I have anybody's email.
You need
I will-
But you sent out
Send a
this
piece of
stuff on
paper
the
and
email.
you sign it now.
Yeah, actually, it's on your email when you send it all to
Yeah.
us, so.
But we should have a list too.
Yeah, maybe a direct your phone and
Yeah.
whatever.
We used to have that. Yeah. Great.
We don't have a council liaison.
We don't have a council liaison comment. Do we have any other commissioners' comments?
I just want to say that I'll be coming to you guys for a sponsorship for the 2023 Indiana NAACP State Conference Convention. It's going to be at PNW on November the 2nd through the 5th for a possible ad in our Souvenir Journal. But I didn't have all that information together at this meeting. I apologize.
And this is the state conference.
State
So everyone's
conference.
coming from all over the states.
State, all the
Yeah.
people from the state of Indiana and surrounding Ohio,
Oh, wow. It's
Michigan,
Oh,
Illinois,
wow, okay.
and Wisconsin, I think it is.
Oh,
We are Region 3. So
okay.
Wes went to the national conference, and they were all excited about it being here in Michigan City because they all like our lake beach and blue chip.
November, I'm thinking we'll be visiting.
Right, they won't be doing the beach in November, but they're taking pictures out there. I mean, it's really still pretty to take pictures out there. But anyway, so they said that they were excited, and our theme is thriving together.
You don't have your sponsorship levels available.
I don't have it today. Oh, sponsorships is way up there. 5,000, 10,000, 3,000. But for the ad for the Souvenir Journal, we're a little bit more reasonable, 100, 250.
And are there like tickets that you would buy tickets to attend?
Oh yeah, we'll have all of that. We don't have that. We don't have nowhere near having all of that information together. But because our state, we have a state convention planning committee, but they were waiting until after they went to the national convention to start working on it, and it was just the last week in July. So they've had their first meeting Sunday, and then they're the ones that get all of the registration fees and all that big stuff.
I should put that in minutes. Or
Well, I did the announcement, yes, please put the
can you
announcement.
just send me a little sentence or so?
Okay, I should.
Do you have my email? Okay.
Yeah, I can get it from, I'll probably send you what she sent and just
Good.
forward it with my statement. So thank you for that.
Good. And the last thing I want to mention is when we didn't have our meeting last month, it actually let Faye and Linda and I and Lori attend this Vibrant Michigan City
Plan, outline of the plan.
outline.
Yeah, that was
And
pretty cool.
it was a long process through the Brookings Institute as well as the Local Initiative Support Corporation. And I just want us all to go to this website because actually the most interesting thing to me is the data that they pull together and that we really can see what Michigan City is and the areas that they're focused on. The data is really important. You can go to vibrantmc.com, and this whole
Booklet is on here.
booklet, 80-page booklet, is on there.
Because I went on there and looked and I couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
Have you seen it on the website? Did
I
you-
haven't
tried.
I haven't tried because I
Yeah,
work on the
Because everyone
convention.
said it's on there and I went and looked and I'm like, it wasn't
Get
there.
in touch with Clarence Hulse.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
probably could
He was
even
kind
have a
of
book for you.
the force behind that.
Yeah.
I thought about that program with the announcement of the prison
Yeah.
Exactly.
closing, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what does that mean for?
Well, it's because the data said that's where the jobs were.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're taking 400 jobs, which I mean, again, a prison that was built in the 1800s probably isn't the most, cost-effective
Right.
place either. So like that whole, now that it is reported
Yeah. Well,
that is coming down, there's a lot of really interesting things that could be suggested, but the economic impact of that is going to be felt pretty hardly unless something's
What
done.
an opportunity, what a resource that's gonna open up over there on the west side when that prison gets gone.
yeah.
Plus, as Tommy Klovic brought out, and also that population was counted in our count, and our census count for us to get funding and whatever, so that's taken away like 2,000 people.
Are they building another one here?
Well, they're building Westville.
They're
Westville
gonna
is
be
rebuilding.
expanding.
So they're gonna combine it with.
And they're gonna
Westville.
combine it and spread them out throughout the state. I mean, we have Miami County, Pendleton, and other facilities, Branchville, Greenville.
Yeah.
Anyway, they got
That would
other.
be nice to get it removed from the
Isn't
west
that
side.
something? I mean, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
and I mean, wouldn't it be
over
great to
150 years old.
housing in that whole big area?
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
So we're gonna bring in more,
Affordable
bring in
housing.
people.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
We'll lose a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, well,
families
affordable, yeah.
because families
Affordable
follow
housing.
their spouse or whomever that's at the prison. So there'll be a lot of families moving to wherever that spouse is
Oh,
going.
that's the other thing, yes. Families
They'll
moved
be
here
moving.
because of the prison. Some of them will probably be moving out.
But we are close enough to Westville too, that is that option of
That's true.
jobs, just
We
people
need
still
to that's what
living
they're
in
just
our
gonna be
community.
on.
The facility that they're building in Westville is gonna take less manpower because that's what they're trying to do. And there'll be more,
Automated.
it'll be more individual cells and less, dormitories and things of that nature.
And they did say in the paper that those, 400 people over
But they did
will have
say,
the opportunity
yeah.
to go.
To West.
But you know how that goes when they say stuff like that.
You mean the inmates?
No,
staff.
staff. I said the staff.
We're gonna get people there, that's a lot.
Yeah, they said that they're gonna have the chance to go
lying.
there, but there's more than 400 people, isn't it? You
I
don't
don't
think?
know.
You mean staff wise?
Yeah.
I think it's more than 400 staff. But,
Even know.
but anyway.
But an interesting fact, what Stacy said was that, that is owned by, would that be the federal
The property.
property?
No, it's state, it's state, it's
So
state.
this is
property.
state, but is the new one gonna be?
The new one is still, yeah,
You know,
it's
there's
still
this big
state.
trend now to have these privately.
So the-
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, it's still state.
That would be a state.
Westville did a thing, they
Indiana
have,
State Prison.
It's a state prison, Indiana State
I
prison.
can't remember. They have they did have
It's not a
something on
federal
the, I don't know if it's still on there or not. The state, when they did their meeting last November, I think it was, Westville had a big meeting for the community to come out and see the
Plans.
presentation and the plans for the facility or whatever. And I think it's still on the website. If you go to the State Department of Corrections and look under the Westville, I believe they have those plans still up. And I don't know if they have that presentation up. But anyway, it was a very interesting.
I have an announcement. Minority Health Partners of LaPorte County is having their annual breast cancer walk the last Saturday of September. The first Saturday of October, we plan on having our breast cancer ball. And the facility for the ball is going to be back at the ORAC. And I'll give you further information by email.
Could you repeat that,
The dates
routine, the walk, you say
will be
is
the last Saturday of September.
That's the 30th, I'm pretty sure.
September 30th?
That's a Saturday.
And the first Saturday of October, we're going to have our breast cancer ball.
That'll be like this.
So,
Okay,
and next
so,
week, it would be the week
so
after.
there's two different walks.
That's one different
one's a
activity.
walk,
One is
one's
a
a
walk, and one is a ball.
Oh, the ball is the October one, okay, gotcha.
Great.
Where's the walk gonna originate?
The walk is going to start at, I'm waiting on Pastor Johnson, either at Pentecostal Temple Church of God in Christ,
It's 2722 Wabash.
or it'll start from Bethel AME on the boulevard. We have to work that out with the,
The city.
yeah.
Where they walk to?
Well, we go down, usually we go down Franklin Street, go all the way down to, the last one we had, we walked from the church down to, how far did we walk?
I
We
thought it was,
walked all the way down to the library and come back around and come up Franklin Street.
That's nice.
That's more than a 3K.
Yeah, it's a nice walk.
But we had some seniors that walked it and they stopped to eat.
I'll be one of those.
Two of her friends there, I said, we were getting ready to get in the car and go look for them. I said, "Where are they?" And here they come around the corner just laughing and talking. I said, did something happen? She said, no, we got hungry.
And my my kind of walk, yeah.
So, you know,
Is it a breast cancer walk or is it just for Minority Health Coalition?
no, it's a breast cancer walk every
That's
year.
sponsored.
It's called Real Men Wear Pink, and we do that. We use the
Oh, yeah.
same thing for the ball. Last year we didn't. We had a lot of students, and the organization that had the most students won the pink bell.
Oh.
Well, that was Lynn Isbell. She had 30-some students there.
Yeah.
So we had a nice article in the paper. This year they're going to have that bill up for grabs too, and try to get the other high schools to participate, because I'm sure they saw that picture in the paper with them holding the bill or whatever. So they don't have to pay to
What
walk.
school was it? What school?
She had most of her kids from Krieger
Oh,
and Barker.
Yeah.
So they won the bill.
very nice.
Yeah. So
So is the ball also to raise funds for breast
the
cancer?
ball is breast cancer awareness. And if we have funds that are left over after the ball, we always give them for mammograms.
And so the walk is also
The
for
walk
the
is
research?
just, it's an awareness.
Okay, they're both, okay, gotcha.
Because October is breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
makes sense.
We almost lost our name. Somebody had a breast cancer walk and said, "Real men wear pink." A man from the newspaper called, he said, "You didn't tell me nothing, Uncle Gene." I said, "William Havachuk." That's not us. They thought it was our organization.
Oh, I wonder who it was.
Trying to steal your thunder.
Yeah, they did, and I called her on it too.
Yeah. Good.
She said, "You don't have a
Patent,
Copyright.
patent on copyright and all that stuff.
and I said, "I got a patent on something else." Though.
It's not
Got a patent on other shoes.
But we always have a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm trying to get a keynote speaker, and then we usually have a fashion show, and it's mostly men. That's why we call it Real Men Wear Pink, and so they wear something pink. I've had some interesting.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
I had the former mayor one time, and then I had the former city attorney, and he said he couldn't do it. His wife said yes, he will. So then we had a couple doctors that walked for us. Dr. Ransom walked in one of our fashion shows, yeah. And there was one guy that walked, QCC Lester, and they just threw flowers at him. I
Oh,
said,
Lester
"Yo, go."
Norvell.
Very nice.
Lester Norvell.
Mhm.
He's so
Yeah.
handsome though.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Good, so it sounds like we're gonna have a busy fall. Lots to get through. And anything else?
It's good for the order.
Well, I want to thank you for letting me join and,
Thank you.
listening to my story and,
Thank you.
getting involved.
Thanks for coming and thanks for all your good work.
Hey, you don't have to be a stranger. You can come back anytime when you're ready.
now.
Yeah, you're coming back.
6:40.
So,
I move to adjourn.
yes.
So moved. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
6:43
All right,
or
we're
whatever.
adjourned. Next meeting date is our annual meeting on Saturday, September 16th.
And we bring in